Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode here on Milwaukee Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
And I'm Ross.
And we are headed to Sheboygan, Wisconsin tonight. It is Three Sheeps Brewing Company. We are trying a couple of their barrel-aged, deeply rooted barley wines. We haven't really done a barley wine from them on the channel that I can recall.
I think we have. No, I can't think of anything. We do a lot of their barrel-aged stuff. We've done a lot of their over-the-shelf stuff, but nothing like this. So
yes, so we're both Barrel Society members. Pretty cool club to be a part of. I still believe, in my heart, Three Sheeps make some of the best barrel-aged stuff in the state. And
it's hard to argue. It's just hard to argue.
It's very hard to argue at this point with where they're at from a barrel-aged beer perspective in the state at this point. But these are last year's deeply rooted barley wines. These are the 2023 releases. We've got two of them for you here. We've got the 2023 deeply rooted barley wine that is aged in Old Elk bourbon barrels, and then we've got the second one here, which is their double barrel. So it was aged in those Old Elk barrels initially, and then also put into 1792 bourbon barrels for multiple months as well. So we're pretty big barley wine fans.
Yeah, love barley wines, love Three Sheeps, so I'm excited. I think I've had these, but I don't really remember them too much, so I'm excited to try these again.
I know I've had the base deeply rooted. I don't think I've had the double barrel though, so I'm very curious to see what that brings to us here.
And the funny thing is, we were kind of talking this right before we started. Is like they're the same beer, just one was barreled twice.
Mm-hmm.
The color difference is starking to me, or surprising.
Yeah.
You see, like this one's got a little bit more like of a. It's a little mucky.
It's murky. It's cloudy.
Murky is what I was looking for, and this is very clean looking. I was surprised by that, but it's that's what's fun about doing this kind of stuff.
Exactly. So, let's get started.
Yeah, let's get on those on the
base deeply rooted. So this is aged in Old Elk bourbon barrels, definitely cloudier than the 1792 double barrel version from last year. Let's see what we got.
To the nose.
It's a great bourbon nose.
Good bourbon nose. Some of that stone dark fruit is kind of coming out as well.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of that barley wine malt character coming out on the nose too. Smells really good.
Yeah.
Very sweet, candy sweet.
It smells how you want it to smell.
Yep.
So
let's try it out.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's pretty tasty.
So good sweetness, good barrel characteristics. Offers a slight bitter bite, which I actually kind of like. I think that's like we were talking this before we started. This is an English style barley wine. We think that does offer a little bit of kind of like bitterness that's kind of coming along with it, but really, really good like stone dark fruit characteristics on this.
Yeah, it's really sweet up front. It's a heavier mouthfeel on this. I think some of that probably you can even see how heavy this beer is. It's a little bit of a heavier mouthfeel for me. I don't think the beer changes very much from the front end to the back end. It starts off very sweet. There's a bit of that barrel character. There's some bourbon characteristics that come through. And then it stays like sweet malty all the way through the back end. It's a really good barley wine. I don't know if it's one of the best barley wines I've ever had, but it's solid.
I would agree. I think you and I, through this channel and just through us having them, like, we have our mainstay barley wines I think we really, really like. So, like, it's hard to kind of compete with some of those. This is really good. I love barley wines. I think this is a really, really good entry into the barley wine world. But is it my favorite barley I've ever had? No. But I would definitely order it and drink it.
Okay. So, deeply rooted 2023 barrel-aged barley wine here in these Old Elk barrels. Where are you going with it?
I'm going to give it a 4. I think it's really good. I think it's just lacking that whatever to get to a 4.25, 4.5 type range. But it's a really solid beer.
I'm close to you on this. I'm a little more disappointed in it,
Okay.
I think, than maybe you are. I'm going 3.75. Not that that's a bad score at all. If you've watched our channel, you can kind of get a feel for where we rate beers. I think this is a solid entry. This is a really good barley wine, but it's not quite up there in the top tier barley wines that I've had.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, what's up next?
Moving on, we're doing the double barrel deeply rooted. So as Josh had mentioned earlier, this was originally aged in the old elk bourbon barrels, and then this got put into the 1792 bourbon barrels, which gives us this, which, like we said earlier, it just looks clean. It looks like a really, you know, it looks like a really tasty beer. Like I mean, I know looks don't always tell us the whole story, but it just, I personally, I love that clean. I love that look on this. This is such a great color for a beer.
It is.
It's hard to look past that. So,
to the nose we go on the double barrel. Oh my God. Even the nose.
Yeah. Like, so it's the bourbon barrel aged characteristics really, really come out with this one. It's that vanilla char that's starting to come out compared to like the single barrel one. It's basically the first beer on steroids, which is kind of what you want out of a double barrel,
but so much cleaner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even the look is cleaner, but like the nose is like legibly on the nose cleaner. Yeah. It's just a cleaner nose. Yeah. It smells amazing.
No, it really does. Again, the stone fruit, dark fruit, it's there again, but you're getting much more of those barrel characteristics, like vanilla starting to come out a bit. You're getting some of those notes that you really want on a barrel aged beer.
So, well, let's try it out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, that lingers. That lingers.
Wow.
So, unlike the single barrel, this one doesn't have really that bitter note to it at all. That stone fruit really shines. That those barley wine characteristics that you normally get out of beers like this. Like the barrel is so good on this, and that's where Three Sheeps, we've talked about this, really kind of separates themselves. Is those barrel characteristics they're able to bring out in their beers compared to, not to say others don't do a good job of it, but they just seem to do something extra with it. That nice vanilla flavor, that little char that's coming out, and this one just from like front to back of the palate, it's full flavored.
It is. I think the consensus versus these two, this is a significantly cleaner beer, both from a looks perspective and what you get on the palate. You get some great barrel character up front. The char, the bourbon is there. You get all those barrel characteristics that you're expecting. There's a vanilla component to this. Well, it's not extreme. It is there. It kind of leaks in, I think, right after the front end of this beer. You get more sweet barrel character up front, but then kind of this nice vanilla character mid-palate. And then out the back, it finishes just strong malts, strong bourbon, barrel characteristics out the back end of it. It's just a very well-balanced, very clean, elegant barrel-aged barley wine.
So, the double barrel 2023 deeply rooted, where are you ranking it?
This is probably a 4.25 beer for me. I think it's really good. I don't know that it quite achieves some of the levels of some of the other like elite barley wines that I've had. So that's why I'm going 4.25. That's not a bad score at all. It's really, really good. And I'm flirting with that 4.5 category, I think, with this a little bit. It's not quite there for me, though, so I'm going 4.25.
I'm right there with you. I think 4.25 is a good score on this. It's really, really, really good. But we've had some really good barley wines on this channel. And to get to that 4.5 mark with the barley wine, you have to do something outstanding and just something different and creative at this point. This one is incredibly traditional. It's really, really, really well done. It's super clean, as we talked about, but I just think it maybe needs like a little to get to that 4.5, and it just doesn't. It's not there, but hell, this is a great beer. It's super good. This is the strongest 4.25 I've had in a long time. So
it's very good.
Yeah.
All right. So Three Sheeps back on the channel. couple of their deeply rooted barley wines.
So when's the 2024 coming out?
2024 is coming out in October, I believe.
November.
Is it November? Why'd you ask me if you
Because I was
already
trying
knew?
to.
It's November. The pre-release for this, or the pre-release for Barrel Society members, just came out for the 2024 release of both of these beers. I ordered a few of them. I know you did as well. Very excited for that to come out. These are fun every single year. I sadly didn't really drink many of them until right now. So
Great.
they've been
This year
sitting in the cellar for a year, and here we go. I don't know if maybe a year in the cellar changed the base a little bit here. Maybe. It's possible.
Possible.
But again, I think both very good entries into the series, and Deeply Rooted is a solid barley wine series.
Really
if you're
good,
into
yeah.
the barrel aged stuff and you're into barley wines, these are two good beers to pick up again this year in 2024 and in November.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
Thanks for watching. Have you tried the 2023 releases of Deeply Rooted? Do you have a different opinion than we do? Do you still have some of these in your cellar? Let us know in the comments. Check us out on the rest of our social media channels. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on Untappd. We are on TikTok. We are here on YouTube. So like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see all of you in the very next episode.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.